Hello and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about another way that we can use all of those extra chicken eggs, and that's Eggs Benedict. If you haven't already, please consider clicking on the subscribe button and clicking on the bell icon to be notified when all of our videos do come out. So we're continuing this series on eggs and what to use all these extra eggs for that we get from our chickens. Well, one of the things we like to use them for is Eggs Benedict because A, it uses as much eggs and it's a pretty tasty and a fairly simple thing to make. But it can be intimidating to some people, so we're going to show you how you can make it easily at home. So a couple of ingredients, then tools that we use to make this. So first of all, you're going to need your eggs. You're going to need some sort of bread. I like to use bagels just because I like bagels. You're going to need butter, some chives, lemon juice. I like to use a little Tabasco in my hollandaise, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You're going to need a thermometer of some sort. We have this laser thermometer that we love. We got it at like Lowe's or something like that. We do have a link for one in the description that you can get. They're about 20 or 30 bucks, but any thermometer will do. And then an immersion blender. These things are useful for a bunch of different things, and this will help make our hollandaise sauce. Alright, so to get started, I'm going to fill up my pot with a bunch of water and get it heating up on the stove. So while that water's heating up, let's talk about what Eggs Benedict is. It's some sort of bread. Typically there's meats like Canadian bacon, ham, something like that. We don't have it just because I actually don't like it. You're going to have a poached egg on top and then a hollandaise sauce with some chives on top of that. So poached eggs, basically you cook it in hot water, in this case 185-degree water, so that way the whites get nice and cooked. The yolk stays just nice and runny, so when you break it open, it'll run across your bread. The hollandaise sauce is basically an emulsion of lemon juice, butter, and some egg yolks, and then you pour that on top. So to get our eggs ready to put in the water, what we're going to do is we're going to take them and break them into a bowl first. It'll be easier to drop them in the water than just breaking them directly into the water. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do while we're waiting for that water to get up to temperature is get our butter melting. So we got a whole stick of butter. Yes, it sounds like a lot, but it'll be worth it, I promise. So what you're going to do is unwrap it, cut it in half, and then put it in some sort of container that you can melt it in. In this case, I got my measuring cup. And then I'll put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds or so, enough to get it just melting, and it'll melt the rest of the way by the time we're ready for it. So once the water gets up to 185 degrees, we're going to take our slotted spoon and we're going to stir the water so it swirls pretty decently. Once that water is going nice and good, we're going to take our eggs from our bowl and slowly drop them into the center of that water. Next, we're going to control our heat throughout our cook time of about 4.5 minutes to keep it right at that 185 degree mark. You don't want it to go higher, you don't want it to go lower. So one thing I'll do after about a minute, I'll just make sure and use my slotted spoon to get that egg up off the bottom of the pan. So you know the eggs are done because you'll take that slotted spoon, you'll pick them up, you'll notice the egg whites are nice, just a little bit firm, and the egg yolk, the center, is not firm at all. So you're going to take that egg in that slotted spoon and you're going to put it on some paper towels and you're going to let it sit for a few minutes just to cool down and solidify there. So now that our eggs are done, we're going to get our bagel, put it in the toaster, get it lightly toasted, and we're going to get our hollandaise sauce done. So we're going to start by putting 1 egg yolk into a mason jar cup. It just works out because it's the right size for the Immersion Blender. And then we're going to take 1 teaspoon of water and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take our butter that we melted and we're going to get our Immersion Blender in there and just mix up the egg yolk and the lemon juice and the water slightly. And then we're going to keep that blender on as we slowly dribble the butter in until it gets nice and blended up. Okay, so now that our bagels are done, we're going to go ahead and put the eggs on top of this and start building it. So after I get the eggs on, I'll just go ahead and just spoon on the hollandaise sauce. I do like a lot of sauce on mine. I'll hit it with a couple of things of Tabasco sauce just because I like the heat, and then top it with some chives. So a good test of this is when you cut into that egg the first time, is if it runs out and it's nice and liquid on the inside, you poached it perfectly. So this one turned out great. Looks good, tastes great. So you guys can follow the instructions down below in the description. You guys can do it as well. It's really easy, really simple, should not be intimidating, and it's a great use, especially if you have lots of eggs. Thanks again, guys. Y'all have a good one. We hope you guys like this video here at Lacey Family Farms. If you would consider clicking on that subscribe button right down there below in the center of the screen, we would appreciate it a lot. You can also check out our most recent video over here on your left, as well as a video that they like for you right here on your right.